Now that we have power back, welcome to some reassembly. If you guys know games like Nimbatus, Cosmoteer, that type of starship architect where you're building your own battlecraft, that is the little slice of pie you'll be getting in reassembly today. And I'd like to send a quick thank you over to the developers because not only did they give me a free key to the game, they actually reached out to me because I played similar games. So of course, I'd like to thank them for stepping out of their way and sending me a key to the game. But, you know, enough of me blabbling on about that. Let's get into some of the gameplay. As we're starting in a new world, I'm going to start a new one. I was just testing out the game and the audio there, but we actually don't have many ships unlocked yet. I'm going to keep with my blue theme. Maybe I'll switch over this color a little bit. See if we can get a little bit cooler of a color on that secondary piece. Give it like a shaded effect. Although that's kind of a light blue. Can we get like a dark blue? I think we're ranging into purple there almost if I'm going darker. I mean, that doesn't look horrible. Alright. Yes, my name is StormRunner. So let's launch into the field. And one thing I do want to talk about, the game does have a couple of years on it, 5 years to be exact, so it is a little bit older in the gaming world. But they just did recently update the game. I don't know how recently, don't quote me on recently, but they did update it with something they call gravity wells. So I've only encountered one, and they seem pretty difficult to actually manage to get around and things. So it is going to give me a little bit of a tutorial here real quick. You know, your basic WASD. I've got it set to currently just pinpoint where my mouse is and move towards that. So, of course, similar colored ships are allies. Everyone else is hostile. Yep. I'm going to jump through the quick controls right here and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that we've got our basic controls down, we're going to go out and control another... Well, it's because damage station on that mission there. I'm looking through the map. If you look at the bottom left, I can actually make it a lot bigger. You see these little green things? I'm kind of trying to highlight them out there. The green and the blue ones. I forget which ones I have under control and which ones I need to take over. But I have to be very careful due to there are enemies occupying this area. Alright, we are oh, shoot. We need to get out of here. It's Boogie... Oh shoot, this guy is wrecking me already. How am I not dead? Okay, he also has drones. Come on. So one cool thing I've realized is that, as it's somewhat paused for some reason, your ship does regenerate a little bit while you're just flying around. And already, we're having a little bit of problems with gravity wells. But as you can see, we have, what is it, a star or something that is pulling us into the middle here. And it'll give you that exact orbit. All of my Kerbal Space Program professionals out there will know what to do in an orbit here to get going at a good degree. Although, honestly, I'm not too great with them just yet. Actually, let me finish up this mission real quick because we do have a little dying base that's been ripped up here that we can take back. I'm assuming a lot of the game right now is kind of like conquer, take over area, and especially building up resources for a battle fleet. Not only did I say bludder, I parked myself within the base. Alright, these guys aren't too difficult for me right now. Although they're giving me a little bit of a hard time when I'm not paying attention. They're not too bad at all. Versus that other guy that basically almost destroyed me earlier. That's interesting. If we target him, we also get the trajectory. Oh, that was a big rock. It's a big rock. Okay, let's get out of there. Did we connect to that base? Well, not connect, but take over. I think we have control of it. Oh, so it's almost like two different factions fighting there, in a sense. So one thing I can do is collect resources, bringing it back, and that is the R right now, which I have storage. And basically when you do get back, you sell that for some money, which is the C I have. So the big thing we can do is, of course, upgrading the ship, because we have some much larger enemies. We've started at the bottom of the totem pole here. We are just a little tadpole in the whole sea here. So let's jump into our builder, see what we can get on here. Actually, one thing I do want to do, let me make sure we have enough power on here. Of course, you need to upgrade how many parts you can put on your ship as well, which is this P number, and that, what is it, maybe a light blue or a light green? Something like that. So you also do have a couple other things you can buy, and I do want to save up for that factory, because that is another really cool aspect that we can get into relatively quickly. So I'm going to drop 2 more cannons on here. What else do we have? I have to be mindful of how little power I'm generating right now, and that I might need just a bit more to get me around. So definitely one of the first things I did was just dropping in a second power bank there, and kind of rebuilding the thrust after that, because we're going to be adding a lot to the front end right now, because I've given it a lot of money towards, you know, just upgrading how much stuff we can actually put on here. And I do want to try different types of weapons. Last time I played, I was using more drones. This time I'm going to go a couple more cannons, but I don't know. If you guys do want to see some drones, leave a like down below. And especially if you want to see some more of this as well, hit that like button, please. Alright, let's save that guy up. So we've now got 2 more cannons and just a pinch more armor on the front end, because especially that front end is where we are being attacked. And the most important thing to me, at least, being that we have at least a little bit more power to us, because we've doubled our generator output there. So let's go into some enemy space, and you can already see these little, was it tractor beams or something, pulling in those resources. That either means a ship died there and left some resources for us to collect, or it is one of the plants inhabiting this area that basically drops some of the resources. So whenever we come close to any of our home bases or outposts, basically all we're going to do is sell them, like I was talking about before. So let's see if I can get some good combat going on here. I'm actually not sure if those resources slow you down much, if anything at all. Oh, and we have a lot of new enemies. Although they don't seem to be very strong, there's a lot of them, and you can be overwhelmed pretty quickly in this game. The first thing I learned. Because if anything has a higher speed than you, they can get some close-range weapons right on top of you. Just like that guy. I think he's more passive, though, the green enemies, versus the red and the purple, the blue, the ones I was just attacking. I did see a base over here as well somewhere. It's over to my left. Seconds before disaster, I was trying to take over this base, and I forgot that they're neutral until you try to take over their entire area. So I strolled in, just minding my own business, and, you know, tried to steal their car type of deal. So they're not very happy with me anymore. I'm full on resources is what it's telling me right now. So, what do you guys think? Odds of me making it out here? I would give me like a 1 in 5 chance right now. There's only one way to find out. How? I actually took over the base as well. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising. Oh, we lost a couple thrusters. We've turned into like a shuriken. Now just spinning out of control. Okay, we've regained some control. We are definitely not very powerful against these guys. I'm hoping to at least get a couple more weapons and build up some armor. Just passing by, don't mind me. I have my passport and everything in order. I may be being attacked by other factions, but don't mind them. I do actually want to try and take over the thing within the gravity well. Let's see if we can get it done here. Okay, it's back behind me right now. So pull into the gravity well a little bit. We're kind of just spinning around like on rinse cycle right now. I wonder if I can kind of reverse myself. All it seems to be doing is changing our orbit. I need like a NASA scientist here. Any NASA scientists out there that can calculate like values for me? Hey, I think I took it over. I am in a world of hurt though. Just get out of here. Achievement unlocked. So I guess there was an achievement for taking over a base within a gravity well. And now it kind of makes more sense. Originally when I started playing, and I'm drifting off screen here, but I'm realizing the little squares on the map there are telling me what enemy forces occupy that area right now. And I'm still not exactly sure how to basically eliminate all those forces from the one area, but I'll find out eventually. This is a large base. And it's already ours. That's pretty nice. I'm assuming they just inhabited for a while here. That looks like a pretty bad threat to me. There is a huge enemy right there. I know a little bit about him. His biggest weak spot is his, the back end of his vessel. So, especially if you can get some drones behind him, it's pretty easy to take him out. Alright, now that we've got a couple bucks, I want to grab that factory station as well as some drones. Because the drones are my favorite thing in this game so far. I don't know why, but last time I was playing, I kind of just spammed drones all over my ship. It seemed to work out decently well for me, though, due to having like a full swarm of drones just attacking. And since I was kind of like a aircraft carrier with so many drones. And actually, the game does have a UI up here on the top left when you have so many drones that tells you exactly, well, how many drones you have, basically. So I was getting up to like, what, 150 drones or something? And I've never really liked the missile launchers either. They've never been too great for me. I'd rather drop in a couple more weapons here. Alright, that doesn't look too bad, but as you can see, we've had a lot of money I've been stocking up. We're at 390 of 700 of the points I can use. I spent, well, most of my money now, well, all of it there. But we still have a couple bucks to drop into, you know, weapons, different types of things we can drop on here. I'm tempted, I don't know if I want to do any more thrust. I might create little inlaid pockets like this, just for generic thrust to get me around. Because thrust is definitely something that will help in the long run. Something that'll keep you out of other enemies' ways, especially if they're large, tanky, battleship type of designs. That, and I kind of want to do a factory, but that is a huge block. Almost makes me look like a wasp on the back end. And I forgot I can't actually connect it up to that. Can I do 2 factories? I don't know if there's much of a point to that. I know there's a mission for using the factory, so just bear with me. Hopefully nobody's OCD goes too bad from one block being off-centered there. Alright, I don't always know what I'm doing when I'm building these ships, but I mean, one thing that definitely does help, more cannons, more armor, and more thrusters, and that'll get me somewhere. So now we have a small fleet of drones. When I'm saying small, we're probably only going to hold maybe 12 on us at times. Not as many as I'd love to have, but we've definitely slowed down a bit. But the big advantage is that I can have a full fleet of drones attack while I can, you know, just back up a little bit, keep myself at some range. I think I've added so much, so many weapons on here that they almost push me around more so than the thrusters. So I might need to address those problems just a little bit. Actually, if I fire behind me, will that make me go... Oh, I think it's the factory that's throwing me off. Hold on, I've got a little bit of energy on me from destroying that large guy. So it wants me to use the factory. Let's just put a basic design in that factory, and then we can press F, and now we spawn our own ships on top of us. So we now have a little guy with us. I believe he's over to my left, if I remember correctly. Spawn a ship with its own factory to complete the cycle. Oh, so you have to constantly keep spawning ships. That's kind of cool. I am gonna drop the huge ball on the back end, though, because it's making it an unruly hamburger of a beast. Apparently the other guy is now entangled within me. I don't know, maybe he's a little bit afraid. He wants to be around all my weapons. It seems like the amount of power we're creating is decently good. I'm able to hold my own and keep all of my weapons firing for the longest time, which basically all I can really ask for. I have to remember to keep the drones supplied, though, so we have a good fighting force here. Although the drones are definitely a secondary defense to the main weapons on here. I think we're pretty much able to clear out many small, low-level drones. We may be able to take on a more mid-level enemy here. Especially if we're able to build up a fleet. So let's see, if I drop another factory on there and build a drone that has a factory on it, what the game wants me to do, completing the cycle, that really might help me out a bit more. Let's go over to this base next to this gravity well. I'm going to set something like that up real quick. Alright, and as the music is pumping us up a little bit more, we finally have a drone with its own factory on it and a couple enemies around. Let's just take them out really quick. So we should be able to theoretically constantly build more allies for us on the go. So we can also use that just a little bit more to get some more weapons on here. I don't know exactly what I want to use. I don't have that, and I've never used it before. So let's see what these weapons do. I know that is... The thing's bigger than half of my ship. That thing's crazy. What about the plasma cannon? Okay, the plasma cannon, I don't want to say it's reasonable because it looks ridiculous on the back end, but it's more reasonable than other things I've tried. So I'm definitely going to want a little bit more, thrust to get these things around. We'll see how they do in battle. If the shells are too slow to actually hit anything, they're probably going to get the can pretty quickly, but I don't know, we might be able to use them to a decent advantage somewhere. Alright, off to explore a new sector with the huge cannons on the back end. I'm already being attacked somewhere. We're going to go into a little bit of green zone. We've got some gravity wells. Maybe let's send all the drones, let's send the Doritos into a gravity well and see what happens. I haven't actually gone into a gravity well with drones yet, and with so many enemies, wow. This is crazy. It's like a disco party going on. I think only for a little while, only my auto weapons were firing at people there. Now I've kind of come in tune with what's happening. There's so much happening though. I think we all have a similar question in mind. What happens if you go to the middle? I really want to know. We're going to be spinning. Hopefully you guys brought your doggy bags, because... Yeah, honestly, I'm not too surprised with that. Sadly, that's going to cost us a couple of resources, a little bit of time to respawn, but it wasn't too bad. Let's take on a big guy and see if we can do anything to him. This is a higher level enemy zone. We took out that mid-level guy. Although there are a lot of enemies over here, so we're doing some good damage to them. Although they are ripping through the sides of me without even noticing. Without even me noticing. Although I stood my own. Last time I tried to go in there with just a fleet of drones, of course leaving my main, carrier ship defenseless, the drones kind of just wandered about, and I lost pretty quickly, to say the least. Although, another thing I'm liking, I don't know if it's the flak weapons or something, but they are great at taking out enemy drones. I didn't have them on previous runs in the game. Well, I guess my one previous run was just learning everything, so... Alright. We're definitely dominating this higher level zone now. That should give us a little bit more resources. Maybe it's those high level cannons I've got on the back end that are giving me that extra range. And maybe a higher damage point, just to break through a lot more stuff before they destroy me. Ooh, he is another high-level guy. It's like I was talking about earlier, that back end is his Achilles heel. Where he goes down pretty quickly if you're able to spin around him and get to that back side. Then you have his little minions, much quicker and harder to take out. Maybe that's what's controlling each of these zones. There's a large enemy there that you have to attack. Speaking of a large enemy to attack, I've got little to no. Come on, get me out of there. Shuriken, whatever you need to do. Dance. Get jiggy with it, come on. Oh, I'm almost back up. Although that big guy, he's even sent out his little guys and they're ripping me apart. Yeah, that's not surprising. Considering his ship is more than twice the size of mine. Oh, I'm right next to them again. I do have a base to defend myself, though. So I can give it a second or two. I have a couple bucks. I'll go into the upgrade shop with you guys real quick. Although, is there anything I want? Rockets sound kind of cool, gonna be honest, as well as a laser. I haven't used either of those weapons, so there's a first time for everything. Never mind. Funds seem to be running a little bit low. I don't know if rockets shoot directly forward or to a side. Because I had the missiles previously. Do these target them or not? Launches flurries of unguided rockets. That doesn't sound great for me. I have the weapon now. It's unlocked and everything, but it's probably not going to do much for me in a battle, so... It's like they dropped a safe on the front end of my my little ship here. That thing is a much larger weapon than I, and probably you guys also, expected. So let's go back to the plasma cannon. Yeah, that's a big plasma cannon. Baby plasma cannons, please. I don't have the funds or the room for either of those just yet. Can I cheat some drones into here? Nope. Alright. So it looks like we're not going to be doing much to the ship this time. Although I'm happy to say maneuverability is still decently good for right now, considering how much we have on here. Oh, and he's got himself pretty stuck. So we can hopefully rip through a bit here, but... Oh, we took him out! No way! We actually took him out. That's amazing. I didn't even think we were going to beat him that time. There's another capital ship. Okay, he's out. That wasn't as bad as I expected. I really need to put some more storage on there. Well, then again, it's not going to be every day that I'm taking out that huge of a competitor there. It was that one-time deal type of thing. And I think my fleet helped me bring those guys back. Although I don't have the factory built in again, so... I don't know if I have... Yeah, I don't have any of the large arrows up here. Oh, I do have the one factory drone around. And he's got healing on him? Wow, that's pretty cool. So now with a little bit of aid, we might do a little bit better. Oh, stop taking my... stop taking the resources. I realize now that... Oh, rock. The rock gave me a haircut there, it seemed like, or was going to. But, the resource drone, or excuse me, the health drone right there is taking resources away from me when he was healing me. So I lost like 500 resources. It's almost not worth it unless it's a high-level target to bring those guys around. And yet again, we have little and large enemies that are taking over this area. I don't know if I have to connect bases or something up to control the area. I'll figure out sometime here, though. Maybe if you guys know, leave a comment down below. You can help me out. Alright, coming back to the main base, a little bit bruised and broken, but we've got some money to our name and some resources to drop off as well. I think it's been a pretty successful day. Upgraded the ship a lot to get where we are now. So that is where I am going to end this first episode here. I would like to hear, do you guys want to see some more of Reassembly here? Yet again, I would like to say a quick thanks to the developers for sending me a key to the game and to the expansion pack they just released. And just a quick side note on my part, I'm actually really enjoying this game. I'll be 100% honest with you guys, I was a little bit skeptical jumping into the game, but sinking probably 5-10 hours into the game now, learning all the mechanics, it's pretty fun. And honestly... a little bit more time consuming than I realized. But yeah, that is where I am going to be ending this episode. So of course, if you guys like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up with Reassembly and more of my content. But I've never been guided. Goodbye. So people need me and I need to go.